Look who's here to say hello. Look at this sweet baby. He's like, Mom, I just want to lay on your lap. I just want to hang out. He got groomed last week. He looks so good. Good boy. How's everybody doing? Hello, creator community. We're going to let YouTube do its thing. Send this out. Send this out. Make sure I have sound. Happy solstice to everyone. Send this out. There's that sound. I do got it. Good, 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 good. How's everybody doing? I'll give it a minute here. Whew, kind of a slow start today for me. How about you? Anshuman, hello. How are you? This is my baby, Blazer the Morkie. He's a cute little guy. Look at that face. Oh, look at that baby. He would prefer to sit here the whole time and just be held and cuddled. Hi, babe. Hi, Jason. He's the baby. Kimberly's here. Hello. Okay, gotta put the baby down. Oh, how's everybody? How is everyone? Everybody today, so we've got the solstice. In the northern hemisphere, it's the summer solstice. In the southern hemisphere, it's the winter solstice. Oh my goodness, isn't that crazy? And yes, Blazer the Morkie is a handsome guy. He's a handsome little fella. And he even has clothes and outfits. But I didn't have him. I wasn't prepared enough to get him into an outfit today. But so he's just chilling. He's gonna chill here now. I've got a refreshing, this is I call it a guava. Do you guys like guava? Guava refresher. It's just a little guava juice with like mineral water. You're feeling the solstice energy? Yeah, we're really gonna get into it today. We are really going to get into the solstice energies today with our reading. So hopefully you guys can hang out or work and lurk or listen as you're doing stuff. Happy Friday to everybody who will be celebrating the weekend and not working over the weekend. Raslin, hello. Nice eye roll. I bet you I can out eye roll you for sure. I'm the queen of eye rolls, in case you didn't know. So happy solstice, everybody. Yay, yay. I'm gonna start off here with a little spiritual housekeeping. So if you've joined and you're part of the creator tribe, welcome back. But if you're not part of Creators on the Crest, be sure that you go ahead and subscribe, okay? Hit the notification bell so the little ringy dingies go alongside it and you don't miss any of the readings. Hello, the red thread. And so I would like everyone to join the community. If you're of like mind and like heart and you believe in really knowing yourself on a deep soul level and evolving yourself, then this is the right community for you. Hello, Ashley. The red thread's a new subscriber. Welcome, welcome to you. Be sure to put a like on the video, a thumbs up if you're here and you're hanging out and you're ready to have a good, empowering time today. And be sure to participate in the comments. How's the solstice? I want to know, how is this solstice? In case you didn't know, today's the solstice. We're going to talk about it. How's it going for you? So maybe putting some comments about how the solstice is affecting you, how you feel at this point, and how you're relating to that. For most of us, it's going to be the summer solstice, okay? And for some, it's going to be the winter solstice. So if we could stay focused, please. No, I'm not going to do what you want me to do. And I'll have one of my moderators go ahead and take care of Nabones, please, if you don't mind. Yeah, we don't need to be instructed what to do. I know what to do. It's my life. not yours. So, no, we don't need you to be here telling me what to do. I don't like being told what to do, so bye. All right, so that's the housekeeping for subscribe. Hit that thumbs up. Put your notes in the comments. I would like to let everybody know this is the first time I'm announcing this. So if you are part of the creators community, you're going to get excited about this. For my birthday, my 50th birthday is coming up on July 3rd. Oh my goodness. Half a century, y'all. That's a lot. I am offering a free 50-minute tarot reading via Zoom. So it would be online via the Zoom app for free. Between now, so what do you got to do? What do you got to do? Well, how do I win this free reading, right? Between now, which is 6/20, and July 3rd, which is my birthday, the 3rd of July, you're going to comment, and not just comment some hearts or like hi or anything like that. You're going to comment on any of my long form, my shorts, or my community post. And this can be long form videos that are former lives and things like that too. Any of my videos, okay, on my channel, even the older ones, if there's something back in the archives you would like to see, all right, all you have to do is put a thoughtful comment. Watch the video, and I mean shorts, those are very easy to watch. You might find a really good power-packed short message in there. I know some of you are short on time, right? And so you like to get in there. Posts are really easy to read over. So by you showing engagement with me, you will then, your name will get entered, your YouTube handle get entered into a drawing that I will announce at Frequency Friday on the 4th of July. Okay, yes, I will be live on the 4th of July. All right, so we will celebrate the winner then. They are going to get a free 50-minute tarot reading. So when you're commenting, one thoughtful comment per video, okay? So it's not, don't spam the comments with all the spam. One thoughtful comment per video will get you entered in, okay? Because I really want to know. I really want to know your feedback. I really want to know what you think about the videos. I really want to know how it helped you or what you would like to see more of, right? And if that's not your thing, if you're like, okay, I don't got time for that, but you want to support the channel too, if you go down in my video description for this live or any of my videos, you will see a link to my Amazon wish list. So if you'd like to get me a deck for my birthday, I have Oracle and Tarot decks, and if you're already on Amazon, you just pick it, it ships it directly to me. You can put a little gift note on there so I know it's from you, or you can remain anonymous if you want, okay? And we will just, see if we get any of those. I would love, if you want to be mentioned, I would love to mention you and use your deck, like maybe do a fun little reading or an unboxing of a deck that you like. You can see I have my fair share of decks, but when you get into this mode, you like to get new decks from time to time, and I'm definitely ready for some refreshers. So maybe that's more your style of showing appreciation for the channel. I also have links to personal one-on-one readings in the description below, along with some other fun links and affiliate links if you want to check those out. Okay. Next Frequency Friday is not July 4th, but then it will be the one after that. So 2 weeks we'll announce the winner. And thank you very much. So look forward to seeing some Power Pack comments there under different videos. And just because some of the videos are older, it doesn't mean they're not good. So you can go into YouTube, on anyone's channel, and you can select oldest. You can even go back and see how it was when they started. Newest. When you're listening, if you're in a hurry, you can speed up the time for the playback on that, and as fast as your brain can process. You can also slow it down if you need to. So you have that in your settings. So there's lots of possibilities there. But yeah, looking for those engaged comments to be entered into drawing for a free 50-minute tarot reading with me. So that's exciting stuff. All right, we're going to start talking a little bit about this solstice here. And I'm going to spend just a little bit of time here because it's important. It's important, the energies that we've got going on here. So we've got the solstice today, and I believe it's exact at 10:42 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or that would be 9:42 p.m. Central Standard Time for those of you who are into exactly when the energies themselves will have their peak shift. There we go. Doesn't mean you're not feeling it before, doesn't mean you won't feel it after, but their peak shift will be at that time. We also enter into, from Gemini, into Cancer season. So we've got the Cancerian energies. And there's really an initiation in all of the energies today, which is about momentum and flow. So Cancer being the water sign, it's going to encourage you to find movement and find flow and momentum. Cancer isn't really a super pushy sign, but it can be very driven. So you might want to kind of work with those energies a little and see how they fit your life. What is it that you would like to add momentum to? What would you like to flow forward with in your life? So that's the timing of the solstice and entering into Cancer season. Today we also, or during this time, we also have a square between Saturn and Neptune in Aries and Jupiter and the Sun in Cancer. So Jupiter and the Sun are like bright. They're trying to open up all the energy. You might get into that feeling of momentum, expansion, moving forward, getting big, feeling like big burst of energy. But Saturn and Neptune is going to be that energy that kind of pulls back and kind of pulls you into the depths and says, you know, are you ready for that? Are all the things in place that you need in order to move forward into this expansion? So some of you might be feeling that tug of war within yourself or within the energies, especially this past week leading up to this, where you feel like you're moving forward, but you feel like you're being held back as well. So, and my kind of, suggestion here would be to work with that energy, maybe applying a little bit of Sagittarius energy as if you're pulling the bow back and you're going to shoot an arrow. So if you can come into some sort of balance with this energy, this square, if you can find that middle point, that point of tension in your bow as you're going to shoot your arrow toward your goals, right? If you can find that and maybe just hold there for a little while until the energy lightens up, that would maybe be really helpful for some of you. But that way you can enjoy the sun, you can enjoy the expansion, but you're not quite, you know, released into all of that energy quite yet. Hi, Hannah. You're a Virgo? Oh, yeah, we got some important Virgo energies. I didn't highlight that here today, but we definitely have Virgo. So we're not going to discount that while we're working with these energies, that some of the more mental energies, some of the mind kind of things, there's going to be a lot of weavings going in and out of the mind as well. So check your charts and see where you specifically are at, and that'll help. Some of you are going to feel it more powerfully. Some of you won't feel it at all, right? It really depends on your blueprint here and as to how these energies are going to work with you. But once you know your blueprint, you can begin learning about it and you can work with your energies to your advantage. Now, if you're intuitive, you're probably like, oh, I was already feeling that. Yeah, 2 days ago, this happened, and that's totally that energy. You're already on it, right? A lot of times you're like, wow, I was already feeling this. Amazing. How does that work? Well, it's alchemy, as within, as without, right? It means you're in line with the cosmos and you're in line with your path. So when we think about applying the Sagittarius energy, I didn't even know this was going to come up, but it did when I made that movement, and we're pulling the bow, right? We have the sun, soul, the sun, and it is expanding us, and it is asking us to be big and bright and bold, right? And solstice, stictere, means to stand still. So we're literally standing still in this brightness and in this boldness. And that's a really nice analogy to the Cancerian energy, because the Cancerian energy is like a lighthouse, okay? It's like a lighthouse. So some of you are going to find that you're attracting people and you're attracting things, you're attracting abundance in this energy as you pause in this energy. As Saturn and Neptune kind of hold you back and Jupiter and Sun kind of pull you forward, right? So just imagine that beautiful light that you are expanding. Other people may see that and may be attracted to you. And of course, we can then see where we're at based on what we're attracting, right? So it gives you a chance to pause in your own soul spark. So your sun, the sun itself is your soul spark. You may want to see what sign you are, right? So if you're a Virgo soul spark, how is that bringing clarity to the mind? How is it helping you clear out the energies of overthinking and hone in on exactly what you need to know or what you need to do, right? If you're in these Cancerian energies, you're probably lit up like a lighthouse, right? And all of a sudden, things are coming in for you. It might have been a period where things have been quite slow and they speed up to your perception. But instead of you moving, you're kind of at this pause. You've got momentum, but it's potential momentum. It hasn't been released yet. And in the meantime, things are coming in for you. So it might be good for some of you who struggle with receiving, right? You're always on the go, 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 right? That Aries energy. This might help you receive. So look at it from that perspective as well. And you can reflect on how you shine. What are you attracting? Who are you attracting? Are you attracting a lesson? Or are you attracting something that's going to be part of your dharma and move your path forward, right? And be part of your evolution. It's really a break also. You can kind of have a moment of reflection where we're kind of pulling back and looking at the beginning of the year until now and what has happened, what has transpired, and how is it important to us, right? We've got new chapters opening up all over the place, okay? New doors opening all over the place here. But it may not be to the degree where we fully stepped into those chapters. So we see it, we feel it, we're pulled toward it, but we're not quite there yet. We're held back. Michael's here. Hello. Anwesha, hello. Karen, hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe because we have a lot of fun on these Frequency Fridays. They're really chill, fun hangout. And I've got a lot of other content on the channel you might be interested in. Okay. And then this solstice as well could have you feeling a little burnt out. So as you're in this energy and you're holding your bow and you're expanding, but you're waiting, eventually you're going to get tired, like someone in a grappling match. You know, you go through a couple rounds and you're like, whoa, you know, now my arms are sore. I'm a little bit tired. I'm feeling a little bit burnt out. And during this time as well, as you're feeling that, when you get into those energies, you begin to look at what's not working in your life anymore. And I was just having this conversation with some friends this morning. What is not fitting anymore? What is not working? Is it a relationship? Is it a job? Is it an environment that you're in that you're just all of a sudden realizing like this just doesn't fit me anymore? And for some of you may have known for quite some time that the environment, the person, the energy does not fit you anymore, but you're trying to figure out how to navigate your way out of it, how to find the momentum. Others of you may feel drawn to physically clear your environment quite a bit. So I know that I have been more aware of like the pile over there that needs to be organized or the certain junk drawer that needs to be gone through and been cleaned. And so that is really important as well, to take time to maybe clear out your physical environment, okay? And then claim and declare what you want and what you need during this time, okay? Hi, L4th. How are you? Nicole's here. Hello, hello. Good to see you all. Good to see you all. So I want you to think right now about what will you claim today on this solstice for yourself? What is it you really want? What is it you really need? Some of you may need to pause in the energies today and take that time. Maybe right now the answer isn't coming to you. Or maybe it's more clear what you don't want than what you want, right? And so there may be the energy of what you don't want or what you no longer need in your life, what no longer fits you. and we're clearing out that energy. And once we clear out that energy, we will see what we do want and need to move forward. Okay, so that is what is going on in these solstice energies, and there are some ways you can work with it. And I just want to know in the comments, how are you feeling about that? How will you work with the solstice energies? Okay, so what does it mean for you? What are you feeling? Is there something you're releasing? And you don't have to give personal details unless you want to share. But what is it you're releasing? What is it you're letting go of? What is it you're trying to move out of? Okay, and what would you like to then maybe move into? And that's kind of the point we're at. It may not all be super clear yet, and that's okay. So we're going to get into the collective oracle reading. So I used only oracle cards for this part of the segment, and we're going to focus exactly on the energies I just talked about, the solstice energy. And we are going to, Jason, could you take care of that person, please? You're not going to scare me, Darren. I'm not in the mood for the trolls today, okay? Like, I am well protected and I know it. So, you know, oh, you're right behind me. Oh, okay. You're feeling great. I bet I'm feeling better than you, buddy. So sorry, I'm a little cheeky today, y'all. I'm not in the mood for that stuff. I am in the mood to provide creators and people who are evolving and moving forward and want to expand, all right? I'm not in the mood for trolls and people who want to try to play games. No, 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 no. I'm not here for that. That's definitely exiting my life. And I was just, my friend Michael and I were just talking this morning about that. Like, you know, there's just, why would we even worry about trolls and these people in our lives that they're maybe not even helping us, you know, in our journey, and we're not helping them. It's just not meant to be. And so we're letting go, and that's okay. We can let go. We can let go of trolls. Even if we're a growing YouTuber, we don't have to entertain all of that stuff, okay? So we're going to let it go. We're going to let it drop away. And stay tuned after the collective, because we're going to do a breakout reading on that and see what's really coming up. Okay, so, ooh, this is so interesting. The very first card we got from the Shaman's Dream Oracle is the number 14, and it says Drifter, all right? Experiencing life as it comes. Okay, so this is really an interesting energy. And what we've got here is we've got two huge walls of water here, and we've got a boat, a little, looks like kind of an old-fashioned sailboat, to where the actual sail actually looks like a wing, and the boat is kind of navigating through the parted waters. So here we are. We know we're on a big part of our journey. The solstice energies for us are representing this. They're showing us this is big. We may have some big feelings about what we're going through, about this time in our life. And I think that's very interesting, right? Drifter, experiencing life as it comes. So this kind of energy actually encourages us to be okay in the pause and take a look around us, right? So as the sun is at the highest point in the sky here for the northern hemisphere, and it pauses there for a moment, what is it that we are experiencing? And what is currently around us? What might be coming down the pipeline, all right? But we're kind of here, not necessarily trying to take any specific action. We're sailing the waters and experiencing the tide and the enormity and the immensity of it as it comes. So if you have lately been putting a lot of pressure on yourself in those Aries energies to push, all right, which it's beautiful energy because it can push through so many things and it can really get things going. So if you're an Aries, you know, we love you. We love your energy. You really help pave the way. But with Saturn and Neptune in Aries right now, we're definitely feeling a certain way about those kinds of energies. And you may be in this place where you don't want to be pushed. Just let the wind carry me where I'm meant to go. So we've got that drifter energy. Very, very, very interesting here. And then we have, this would be what I would call the Justice card in this Oracle deck. It's a number 44. So we've had a 14 and a 44. So the fours are already coming up today, okay? And we've got Truth with the Jackal, all right? This is a very powerful, potent card. Justice is implied here, but also transformation. The jackal holds a staff with a skull on it. There's transformational energy that is coming up for us here. So as we're in this pause, as we're experiencing this solstice and life as it comes, perhaps there's some light that will be shined upon the truth, some sort of truth or something coming to light. Perhaps some of you have been waiting for something to balance out and be a more just experience for you. And so the jackal would indicate that this may be a time where some things come into place, maybe something you've been waiting on. Some of you may be dealing with legal matters that are finally the light is it's coming to light, what's going on, what the truth of the matter is. This has been a long time coming. I feel like there's been a lot of hard work put into this. For others of you, it could be more about you perceiving this in the collective energies, okay? So you're in the collective energies and you're like, wow, like the justice system is failing us, or it doesn't seem right that these people have to suffer while other people, you know, just live in comfort all the time, right? And you're seeing, you're perceiving the contrasting expressions that we have in the universe. You might be feeling a certain way about it. And it's hard work to navigate that, to maybe not let some of the collective energies take over your life or influence your energies of actually being in your creative mode where you can move forward as a creator being. That is why my channel and my business is called Creators on the Crest, okay? Because it is all about being in your creative, your highest creative potentials. Nobody's perfect. We're all working at it. We're all walking the path. But the truth of the matter is that when you're in your creative energies, that is where you evolve. And as you evolve as an individual, your energy then expands outward with Jupiter and the sun right now. Okay, Jupiter and the sun expanding. You're like a lighthouse. You're shining. We're getting into Cancer season here. And it can really help inspire others, whether or not they're consciously aware of it. It's a lot about what's going on beneath the surface. And speaking of that, let's get a card from the Whispers of the Ocean Oracle here. I love the ocean. Anybody else love the ocean? And the ocean can be such a teacher. Such a teacher. Yes. Oh, I did forget to mention in my spiritual housekeeping at the very beginning that I do live Q&As. So Vijayant Suman, you say angel guidance. I do personal readings every other Sunday night. And so the next one I think is like, it's not this Sunday, it's the Sunday after, the 30th or whatever date that is. So join us back. It's 7 to 8 p.m. on Sunday nights, live Q&A. And you can come on and ask a personal question or ask for some guidance if you'd like. We'd love to have you there. It's a fun group and community. It's for subscribers only. So yeah, I'm not doing personal readings today. Yeah. No, I'm not doing yes or no, Callie, but come and join us on Sunday. Come and join us on Sunday, 7 to 8 p.m. Central, not this Sunday, but next. And drop your question in and get a free mini reading. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so this is very interesting. So here we are with the solstice. We're talking about the sun. We got a killer whale here. So we have an orca for those of you who work with the different animal energies. A full moon can shine light on what you have been resisting. This can be anything from your fears to your soul's beauty. Now, I think we've just had a full moon. Didn't we just have a full moon here recently, I think, if I'm not mistaken? And was it in Scorpio, Sagittarius, or right on the cusp or something like that. So this is for the next full moon. All right. Look at your calendars. Look for the next full moon. We got a number 3 here. And I think, you know, I'm wearing this triple goddess necklace here. So we think about Trinity. We think about 3. We think about the sun. This is a sunstone. This is a moonstone. And this fluorite represents the self, the sun, the moon, the self. Let's work with those energies together. Let's look at the number 3 there. And in the light of the moon, right? Different things are revealed in moonlight versus sunlight. Sunlight is that bright energy that, you know, it kind of takes up the whole field, whereas moonlight is more reflective. You can see more shadows and you can see different things kind of come forth for you. So intuitively, I'm getting that this next full moon for many of you, especially if you're empathic, you feel a lot of things, you're very sensitive, you are definitely going to be feeling something big, realizing something big. And again, with this truth card that we got right beforehand, something is coming to light. And I think you're going to be really, really in tune with that. Maybe it's a fear you have. Maybe it's something you need to work on. But maybe it's also something to do with you shooting that arrow and really achieving your goals and expanding. So maybe leave yourself open to the highest and best messages from that. Okay. Now I have to realize what cards I've used. 1 second. Did I use this one? Oh, I used the Divine Animals Oracle. We're gonna get, no, I used this one. These decks are so similar. Okay, I didn't realize how similar these are. We have not done the Elemental Oracle yet. Let's do the Elemental Oracle. So we've done the Ocean, we've done the Divine Animals, we've done the Shaman's Oracle. Now we are gonna get into the Elemental Oracle and what we need to know. Here it is. So 3s and 4s coming up a lot today as our numbers. For those of you who look for repeating numbers or work with numerology. Hello, Ghost Warrior. How are you? And we have number 43. So we've got our 4s, our 3s, and now our 43. And it is alchemy and magic. Alchemy and magic. Now, I mentioned earlier, these solstice energies and the full moon energies, these kind of energies really give us the opportunity to experience that alchemy of as within, as without, so above, so below, right? The universe of contrasting expressions. And in all of that somewhere is the spark that we are, that each of you have. And it's about finding your magic through all of the darkness, through all of the contrasting expression, through all of the noise. And that sometimes can be a little difficult because you have to reach a certain point of clarity before you're able to actually embrace your magic, right? And really, really utilize it in a healthy way. And so that's what we're being encouraged to do here, is to really begin to open up or even set the intention that we're releasing the things, we're moving on from the things that no longer serve us, okay, that we've outgrown, that don't fit, the things that we're going to drop out of our life so that we can move into our own personal magic. Some of you are energy workers, or you have a job where you work with your hands quite often. So care of the hands is important. All right. And we're going to keep going here. I've got a few more cards. We're going to look at the daily crystal inspiration here, and we're going to pull a crystal that might be helpful during this time. Let me know in the comments if you work with crystals, what your favorite crystal is. All right, this one's coming out. Ooh, I like this one. It's gentle, it's soft, it's the pink opal, and it says be kind to yourself. So depending on your blueprint, no matter how you're feeling these energies, you're being encouraged to meet yourself with kindness. Pink opal, a gentle stone. It's not overbearing. It's not going to push you in a direction you don't want to go. It's going to be some of the softer energies, or it's going to be a way, a stone you can work with to soften your energies when everything is really bold and in your face and expansive and big, and you're pulled forward and you're pulled back and you're stretched in all directions, okay? And so it's really, really important here to work with the pink opal. All right, if you can get access to that. Now, if you don't have access to the actual stone, that's okay. You can work with the energy of the stone. Just tune into it or read about its properties. Nicole's got the black tourmaline, excellent for protection. That is an excellent one for protection. Supriya Kashid, we do not do personal reads here today on Frequency Friday, but I do have a live Q&A and I would love to have you join. It's every other Sunday from 7 to 8 p.m. Central. It's for subscribers on my channel. And if you all do get a chance, come back to this video. If you missed the very beginning, I do have a free reading contest going on. So go back and listen to the beginning of the video if you missed it. If you would like to get a free 50-minute reading from me, okay? And that would be super duper cool. That is a power-packed 50 minutes, okay? So we've got from the Rose Oracle, we've got the return, a new story. Here it comes, all right? Here comes our new opportunities. Here comes that new cycle. Here comes those new energies. We're walking through the door. A new story, you decide, be in alignment. It's coming together, okay? It's coming together, the return. And I do feel that this is a return to the self. This is a return to your gifts. This is an opening up to what you can offer the world, all right? And what's interesting here, I want to kind of just quickly, and I'll summarize this collective reading, and then I'm going to get into the breakout readings. So Supriya, you might enjoy one of the breakout readings we're going to be doing. They're collective, but we are going to be talking about relationships today. And there's a relationship issue here. So, and Supriya, listen, stop dropping those comments or we're going to have to take you out, okay? Like, sister here is not in the mood for that today, okay? So if you're going to spam the comments, that's not fair. That doesn't go with the cohesion of the creators community right now. So if you would please stop and join on Sunday when I've announced that, okay? Alignment, it's coming together. You decide, okay? Can I have one of my moderators please care for the spamming? I appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. The return. This is returning to yourself, your greater being. There's something that's being revealed here, and we're going to get into it in these breakout readings today. So that was quite a bit of oracle messages there, okay? And we're going to get in now to me explaining what these breakout readings are going to be. So I'm going to do 3 collective breakout readings, and each of them has a focus and a theme. The first one we're going to look into the energies of, and these are going to be with tarot and a little bit of oracle, okay? What story are you dropping? What patterns are you dropping? All right, that's going to be the first breakout reading. So if you know you're really working on letting go of something, someone, a job, you're trying to disentangle yourself from something, that reading is the one for you. It's about what lessons have we learned and recognizing that it's time to move on, okay? Reading number 2 is going to be a solstice relationship reading. So that for those of you who are curious about other people and your dynamics, it's going to be collective, okay? Not personal, but we're going to look into the solstice energies and how those are affecting our relationships. And what do we need to know about that? What's important for us to know? What's important for us to take into our interactions with other people during this time? As we're attracting energy and we're in our greatness, ooh, what's it gonna be like? Like who's gonna come in, and then how do we handle that? We're gonna peer more deeply into that. And then reading number 3 is going to be, what are you ready to energize and initiate? So this is where that momentum comes in. This is where we release the bow of Sagittarius and we let it start moving toward our goal, okay? So that is going to be what we need to energize and initiate. So often what happens when I'm doing readings, any reading, personal or collective, is that the energies that need to be cleared out will come up, right? So we kind of see the tension, we see the struggle, but also then the messages of upliftment and empowerment come through as well. So as a viewer of my channel and the way that I read, I feel one of the best ways for you to work with this is you take what resonates, and if something doesn't resonate, then don't worry, that part wasn't for you. Take what resonates and work with those themes and work with those energies. There could be particular words or messages that come through that really strike you, and you're like, oh, that means something to me, or it's just a term I use or a way I say something, and your intuition kind of goes, yeah, that's important to me. I need to make note of that. But there might be other parts where you're like, oh, that must be for someone else. And that's okay. These are general collective readings, okay? And so we're going to get in first. We're going to go into the stories and the energies that you are dropping, the patterns that you're letting go of. What are you letting go of, okay? And we're going to start with the Light Seers Oracle here. Thank you, Nicole. I see you. Hi, Rhonda. All right, we're going to start with the Light Seers Oracle. What stories and patterns are we letting go of? Asking the universe to really show us. And I'm going to pull 3 cards from this particular deck. Oh my, we've got some really powerful energies here for us. I like what I'm seeing here, okay? So what are we letting go of? What is the stories that we are dropping? One of the primary stories that we have the opportunity to drop during this time, during this solstice, we become aware of it, is how we might at times be trapped and controlled by our pain, okay? And we've got the 3 of Swords here. We've got the 3 of Swords. How are the ways that maybe we feel stuck in our pain? Are we communicating from a place of pain, or are we communicating from a place of healed, more nurturing energies for self and others, right? And here we're saying, okay, there's something painful here, and we're going to acknowledge it, and we're going to work on it. We can't reach the other side of things without actually working on it. But in what ways might we be acting through pain or tolerating and experiencing painful relationships and communications and situations there? And yeah, Michael says letting go of, the haters, right? And I call haters and trolls and stuff, you're actually super fans, okay? They're actually your super fans, because 9 times out of 10, like, where's your content? What are you doing? What are you doing to evolve, right? And so letting go of those energies that would try to snag you, right? And maybe even like hurt your feelings or make you feel misunderstood, right? How can you let that go? And you can see in the card here, she's kind of yelling and using her voice. And sometimes, having that be embodied when you're doing this, but really being within yourself and having some sort of vocal release. Some of you might be singers as well. So through your voice, some of you are poets and you express yourself through words. And so you're really transforming and transcending, all right, this pain, okay? All right, so I want everybody to consider what that might mean for you, okay? What that might mean for you. What pain might you be holding on to that you're ready to drop? Now, for others of you, I do sense there's a group of you too that you've known there's something you're working on. You've known there's something that's been bothering you, and this is actually you reaching kind of an apex, like a point where you are finally ready to let it go. Okay, you are finally good to let it go. All right, you're finally ready to release this pain, whereas before you've kind of been carrying it, or you've been letting yourself be affected by it. So how do we do that? So then we ask ourselves, okay, we've got this pain, we're misunderstood, we feel a certain way, right? We feel kind of trapped by that. We feel like annoyed by that. We feel like we need to get free of this energy. How do we do that? And in this particular deck, I love this card. This has come up recently in a personal reading I did for someone as well. This is the happiest Hierophant you would ever see. The Hierophant is the High Priest. This is the number 5 card. We have a 3, a 5, and a 2. This is us going through changes as a result of releasing some of this pain and coming to the point where we kind of get over the hill with it, if you know what I mean. We're kind of over the hardest part of it, okay? And the Hierophant comes in, and there is this ability to be with your own spiritual authority, to be in your own spiritual strength, to be in a place of just knowing that you can now breathe a little easier. You can be in joy. Look how joyful this Hierophant is. He reminds me of the Laughing Buddha. And there's a beautiful staircase. He knows the staircase is there. This is the beautiful representation of what these solstice energies are. There's that beautiful sun's light up there, and it's calling him forward or her forward, right? At the same time, though, this Hierophant, you, the individual, you're okay pausing. You're okay pausing and just saying, let me enjoy this moment in this beautiful experience, in this universe of contrasting expressions where I get to be the alchemist of my life. I get to really be the author. I get to be the authority. I get to be the creator. All right. This is the pause where you can really embody and enjoy that. So isn't it amazing that we're here incarnate on this beautiful planet at this time in very sacred agreements with the planet, with ourselves, our own souls, and others, where we can navigate this kind of pain and feel this kind of presence and joy. Wow, what an opportunity for us here. And what's really cool here is we get both the masculine and the feminine energies working together, because we have the High Priestess. That's the counterpart to the Hierophant or the High Priest. So we have the masculine energies, and they're saying, be present. Be in this pause for the solstice, be in these sunny energies for a moment. And the High Priestess comes on and says, because while you're in these moments, and look, she's definitely some sort of codes. There's some sort of communication going on between her and the cosmos here. This is where you actually get to embody wisdom. Wisdom is knowledge plus experience gained from these tougher challenges that we face in life, from these 3 of Swords moments, okay? And the High Priestess and the Hierophant coming in together are saying, nonetheless, we're going to pause in this moment of sun and joy. We're going to pause in this fullness. Even though I'm being called forward, even though I feel that initiation and that momentum, I'm going to integrate this wisdom. I'm going to integrate, and I'll just hold this card a little closer. It's a really beautiful card. I think it's the card that she uses on the box of the deck, which is behind me here somewhere. And then we also have some really interesting rune energies that are standing out to me. There's little runes floating up here. One of them that stands out to me is Wunjo, which is W-U-N-J-O, and it means joy. So it's about understanding joy is with me. And we've got manas over here. It looks like 2 little flags going together, whereas Wunjo is 1 flag. And that is where you recognize your place in humanity. Ah, the High Priestess shows up, and I've got the High Priestess. Hello, hello. Yes, 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 yes. So we've got a nice balance here coming through in this reading for what we are dropping. We're dropping some sort of pain, something that has been almost controlling us, okay? And the energies that we feel have been controlling us. And we're moving into these very embodied, very empowered states, a nice balance of the masculine and the feminine energies coming together in presence and in wisdom. All right. When you know how people lately, especially, you hear a lot of people talk about dissociation and how they dissociate because of painful experiences. Even so far as people get disembodied, they get disconnected even from their very own nervous system and their very own intuition. And so, can we be okay as creators working on healing those kinds of energies, whether we're dissociating or not? We've all had our moments. We all have our times in life where we go through a crisis, right? Or we go through a panic attack, or these mental energies, depression, the blues, etc., right? Can we be okay existing in a world, finding our presence in a world, finding our peace in a world, embodying our wisdom in a world where we also experience this? So the contrast here is incredible. And I think these times of high light in the solstice and the darkness, like the darkness of the winter solstice, right? And to know that on our planet right now, there's people dealing with these contrasting energies and everything in between. That the northern hemisphere is dealing with the summer solstice, the southern hemisphere, our brothers and sisters from Australia, New Zealand, they're dealing with the winter. And so all of that gets to happen all at the same time. Amazing. What an amazing experience. What a cosmic playground we have here, right? Absolutely amazing. So, what's next? What's next? What's next? I would like to get a card from the Sacred Traveler Oracle here for this reading. And I'm going to get a couple, actually. I'm going to get a couple. There's a little Gemini energy here, says 2. That came up in my recent Gemini bonus reading. If you're a Gemini and you have not yet checked out the Gemini season readings, the latest ones on my channel, there are 2. There's a primary and a bonus reading. Cancerians, you're up next with those. And then I'm also dropping little bite-sized, like 10 minutes and less readings, except Scorpio. Scorpio, you went a little over. You know how deep you go. It's hard to come back out of the depths with Scorpio energies, but some of those are posted and I'm going to continue publishing those. So watch for your sign or the sign that you want to look for. I always say check your sun, moon, rising, and north node energies. Callie's a Gemini. Yes, I love all the signs, man. I find good things about all of them and shadows about all of them, of course, but all right, what do we need to know from the Sacred Traveler? Woo, okay. So here we are. We got the Hierophant. He's got the stairway behind us. I do feel here, and this is very important. We also got it in the collective reading. There's like a narrow path, a wall of water that this ship is sailing through here. Tread thoughtfully. It's a narrow pathway. The staircase is narrow. So we don't want to get in those energies, okay, of like those head in the clouds, completely kind of energies. We want to have our feet on the ground. And the narrow pathway reminds us of that. We have to be thoughtful. And again, the energy that I was getting from this reading, we are dropping patterns and stories, jobs and relationships, all of the above, where we feel we can't be embodied. Things that make us feel less than whole, that are painful, we dictate whether we continue to participate in those. And at the same time, we have to be aware that as we move a different direction, forward, backward, side to side, right? If you're a Cancer, you like to move side to side, check those flanks. You've got a narrow path, all right? There is mindfulness that needs to be included here, thoughtfulness. We want to be present in our bodies for our journey forward. We want to be associated. We want to have the nervous system to be grounded with us as we tread these kinds of paths. Now, if you're the kind of person who likes to zig and zag a lot, this might be a little tricky for you, okay? It might be a little tricky. It might be hard to focus. All right. So I do sense that. I sense a bit of inability to stay focused on the narrow path. You may get drawn into distractions, right? But remember, those just might be small tests from your greater being trying to pull you back into those painful energies. Sometimes we challenge our own selves that way, like our greater being, the wholeness of who we are, even the parts that we don't consciously understand, will maybe test us at times, and not in a bad way, but in a way of pay attention. I also get for some of you, especially those of you out driving, pay attention while you're driving. Tread thoughtfully. You guys know what I mean. You've seen some crazy stuff out there. Also, so while you're doing this mindfully, thoughtfully, you're really embodied, you're bringing like spirit and earth together, okay? And you're grounding the energies here. You are ascending the mountain. Keep going forward. There we go. Keep going forward. So ascending the mountain, when we think about this square that we have between Saturn and Neptune in Aries, Jupiter and Sun in Cancer, this is Saturn giving us permission. Okay, keep going forward. Okay, you have worked to transcend the pain. I can recognize Saturn saying, your Saturn energies are saying, I can recognize you're no longer doing that. I can see that you take a moment to pause and to prepare and to be in the correct energies. I can tell you're embodying the wisdom here with the High Priestess. You are now ready to walk that path. It's a mountainous path. It is going up, right? You are going to your next phase of evolution. You are being elevated, right? You're being elevated here. All right, so some really powerful energies coming out in this reading. I want to do something else here. Since we have the High Priest and the High Priestess, the Hierophant and the High Priestess here, we're going to do a little masculine, feminine energies here, just for any extra reminders that we need about what we're dropping, what we're letting go. So let's start off with the journey to the divine masculine and see what the masculine energies are suggesting to us. Now, sometimes in this deck, we will get the things that we're actually letting go of. We will get a line of sight into that. And other times we will get what we're moving into. So let's see. All right, we've got Michael Ellis. Hello. Hello, John. Thank you for wishing everyone the best on their healing journey, Michael Ellis Sr. I think that is so important. All right. Hello, hello. So the masculine is stating the obvious here. So this reading here is all about the patterns we are dropping, and the masculine is saying, yep, it's your time, walk away. If any of you have been trying to make a decision about staying somewhere or moving on to something else, this is the message of it's time to walk away. Now, do we know what's going to come on your path as you walk away? Do we know what's down those tracks? Not necessarily, but the masculine is saying now is the time, and you know, this is Saturn and Aries. Okay, now it's time. Now you are ready, okay? Now you are ready, and you can go ahead and do that, right? You can go ahead and do that. I want to get one more card from the masculine here. But yes, it's very interesting, Michael Ellis, that you said that, because we did get the Three of Swords. So that does imply healing. The Four of Swords, which is the energy we want to move into next, is the actual healing energy. And yes, this theme here is getting rid of the old to make room for the new. I know some of you might be kind of holding on, just making sure, you know. But man, at some point, you just get really honest with yourself, right? And so the masculine is also saying, guess what? It's okay to feel vulnerable, to be feeling fear, and to walk away anyway, to open up and be able to share your weakness. Now, I would do this in a safe environment with people that you trust, right? We do live in a world where some people will use that against you. So I feel the need to tell you guys, some of you, when it comes to really personal things, you might want to keep it in your inner circle, okay? But find those places, lean on those shoulders, let someone hold space for you while you face the decision about walking away and about leaving something. But it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay. We live in a universe of contrasting expressions. I keep saying that, right? We have the polarities, right? It's okay for you to feel fear and at the same time take action. All right? It's just that we get in our own way sometimes. Sometimes we get a little too tied up in our head from like our past experiences and our traumas. That's normal. That's natural. That's going to happen sometimes. Let's see what the Divine Feminine has to say here to help us close out this reading. What does the Divine Feminine want us to know here today? And we're going to get two because the Gemini energies are still taking up their space, and there's nothing wrong with that. We love Geminis. They are fun. So fun. Oh my gosh, the most fun. All right, the feminine energies. I almost have to, good time for a sip of water. I got my little guava refresher here. I love tropical fruits. I should really live someplace tropical. Trust your spidey senses. Yes. The divine doesn't blow up. We glow up. Yes. And that's essentially what the feminine is saying. You're very tuned in, Michael Ellis. Now, this card says spirituality, but here we have the sun. But we have the sun on the horizon, right? So this is just a reminder that in all this push and pull that you might feel right now in these contrasting expressions, that you can always be at home with your divinity. You can always be at home with your wholeness within. You can always know that you are enough, right? As you move through these energies, you can always hold that as something very precious to you. Now, spirituality, that is a very unique thing to each person. It's not a one-size-fits-all world. So people are having a multitude of different experiences when it comes to this. But I will say in this card, what I'm feeling the most is connection. It's how you connect to that greater part of yourself, which is connected to the greater part of the world, the greater part of the galaxy, the greater part of the universe, the greater part of the cosmos, okay? And that is what this card is all about. It's connecting in with that and having that time. So if we look at the High Priestess with this, that time to embody that, all right? And the feminine is reminding us of that. Now, the next card we get, people sometimes get triggered when they see this card. They get all out of sorts. This isn't necessarily a personal message to anybody, but this is reflecting on your relationships so that you can gather up the lessons here. And we've got karmic partner. And it talks about the purpose of karmic connections being learning lessons. Some of you are ready to move into relationships that are more aligned with you and less karmic. Maybe you've spent the earlier parts of your life working through karmic relationships, setting wrongs right with other people, going through these experiences. And these actually are very valuable. Karmic relationships and experiences, even karmic work environments, right? Some of you have dealt with that. They're very valuable in the sense that they teach you where you need to grow or how you're growing. They kind of help course correct you on the path. And it requires you to work on yourself for the greater cause of your soul's overall journey, okay? So sometimes here we are, we're, in a human body, having a human experience. Sometimes I call this the little me, little Stephanie. Okay, so sometimes little Stephanie is here. She's in this one incarnation, having this one experience, and she's at her wit's end and she's going nuts, right? She's like, I think I was trying to they had a big data breach. Everybody go check that out. There was some large data breach. Change all your passwords, do all the security. I was trying to change one of my passwords and I couldn't get the system, like it was like log out of this device to log onto this device. You can't do it on the thing. You have to do it on the mobile. And I was just like, ah, and you're having these experiences, even with technology. We're working out karma with technology, y'all, at this point, right? So it's very interesting here. But think about partner as relationships, right? Whether that's romantic or it could be family members. You could have karmic relationships with people in your family. It can represent all kinds of things, but it does require you to self-reflect, to self-improve, and to be able to release these things so that you can move forward up this narrow path to your greater being, to your higher self. So you have big you and little you having conversations, coming together and working things out. Since this is coming up in the feminine energies, it feels a little softer. It doesn't feel as overwhelming as I would normally feel it. So it could be also representing the way that you receive information from people, all right, as well. So just some things to keep in mind there. Now, we are going to move on to the moment that some people have been waiting for, relationships. We're going to talk about relationships next. So let me get the timestamp here. So here we are. We're in this solstice, and I'm going to use just the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck for this. And we're like, okay, we're doing all this work. We're thinking about what we're growing into. We're thinking about our own healing. We're doing all of that. And we have to interact with other people, right? We have to be willing to be in community and be with others, because that's just a basic human need. And so a lot of us are looking at that, and we're seeing the ways, the environments and the people that feel good to us, and the environments and the people that don't feel good to us. And so let's take a look at those relationship energies and dynamics and what might be coming up for us here. I'm going to get 3 cards again, like I did for the other reading. Oh, this is actually looking pretty good. I really feel like this particular summer solstice, and as we transition from Gemini into Cancer, we're having an opportunity here, even with the square with Aries and Cancer here, Saturn, Neptune, Jupiter, Sun. We're having like an opportunity to really drop burdens, okay? And sometimes dropping burdens when it comes to relationships is about increasing communication. How many times have you let resentment build up inside of you about something that your partner's doing or someone that lives with you, right? Maybe you have roommates, whatever your situation is. How many times have you let that resentment build up and you know you need to communicate, but you're too afraid to communicate? I know I've done that multiple times in my life. I've had to learn how to speak transparently, right? Speak more firmly, speak more clearly, approach things with that truth, right? And so what do we have here? We have the Judgment card. We are being called to share. This is a card of divine purpose and spirituality. It is the part of your greater being that keeps telling you it's time to be vulnerable. It's time to communicate. It's time to lay the cards on the table, because what we're finding here is that we don't want to carry resentment anymore. There's a lot of willingness to let go of resentment, okay? Because who does that weigh down? Who does resentment weigh down? When you're carrying resentment, you're carrying it. And it affects your clarity. It affects your ability here with the 10 of Wands to be able to transform, to be able to clearly see your own path forward, because you're bogged down. You're bogged down and you're fogged in by these other energies, right? So the 10 of Wands, it is a completion card, which is really cool. All this person has to do is drop those wands so they can see. And then they can pick one wand up and decide how to move forward with it, right? So here we have the 10 of Wands, because we've let maybe some resentment build up in our relationships, and we're looking at it and saying, boy, I need to change the dynamics. I need to change the dynamics here, okay? I need to change the dynamics for myself. I need to change them for the health of my relationships. I need to change them because I've got little people looking at me, children looking at me that are like, how do I behave? How do I navigate life, right? And they're picking up on those energies as well. So this is very important for some of you. Coming in as relationship dynamics and awareness during the solstice. The good news is, it looks like things are going to balance out. You have to be willing to work with these wands differently. You have to be willing to drop the burden. You have to be willing to be transparent so that you can interact in a more balanced way, so that you're turning on that flow of giving and receiving, all right? And you're not turning on the flow of giving and receiving because you're told that's what you need to do to be a good person. You're turning it on because it's part of your own momentum, because Jupiter and the sun are calling you into these energies. That's why you're turning it on. You're not turning it on because anyone else told you to do so. You're turning it on because you're freeing yourself of these burdens. Remember, in our first reading, we had the Hierophant and the High Priestess. The High Priest and the High Priestess. Those are positions of embodied empowerment, okay? Those are positions of wisdom integrated, right? We can't do that if we can't see. We don't necessarily have to be knowing everything that's coming on the path forward, but this is us not shining our own light on it. There's a card. I don't know if we're going to get it. I do want to clarify this Ten of Wands. I'm going to go to my other deck. The Hermit card. The Hermit card holds the light of the self out in front as they navigate the path, right? And so when the path is blocked by burdens that we choose to carry in our own relationships because we're afraid to call things out, we're afraid to put everything on the table and be transparent, we end up burdening ourselves, right? So let's get some clarifiers on this. It does look like things are going to balance out, but I'd like just a little more information here about what could possibly help us with these energies. So let's clarify this Ten of Wands. Ooh, la. Ooh, this one came flying out. Oh God, we're going with all these, y'all. We're going with all of these. I had a pile pop out, but I'll show you the first two cards. And then we're going to go into it because there's a little storyline that just came up here. Let me get these in order. Okay. So here we are. We're like, darn it. Yeah, she's right. You know, like I do tend to do that. I do tend to pick up a burden. Some of you have maybe taken on. Some of you gone to the lengths where you've taken on responsibility for someone else who's not a child. Have you taken responsibility for another adult? Are you burdened by extra responsibilities? Some of you may be in that boat. And you've left no room for yourself here with the Five of Pentacles. This is a card of being left out, shut out. There's no energy left for this individual. Even though they have the key that unlocks that door to that new beginning where Jupiter and the sun are calling to us, and the sun's actually shining on the door here saying, come here. Hey, you come here, open the door. She can't see it. Her head is down. She can't see it. Look at these two characters. They're burdened, right? So how do we get from feeling this way? We're going to have to go through the heart. We're going to have to go through the heart with the Ace of Cups. The heart is the place where you transmute energy. The heart can transmute an incredible amount of energy. Think about what it does for you physically, pumping blood through your body, constantly, involuntarily, right? That's just on the physical level. But on the emotional, spiritual level, our ability to transform these energies through our heart space. So, for example, we can say every affirmation in the book, all right? And we could try to think about, well, I must need another modality, or I need another tool to fix this. What do I do? How do I do this, right? And then we get overburdened with that. So then our mental energies get involved, and it's only when you're able to drop in your heart space. Now, this is an energetic journey for everybody. How I get into my heart space might not be the same way that you do. But some of the techniques I do is I will physically draw my attention. So the thymus tapping, which is also good for the immune system, by the way, if you're looking for an immune system boost, you can tap. And I work to clear my mind, and I tap on this, on the sternum here, and just work on dropping into my heart. You can use breath work. Some people use, they're clearing the mental memories and energies with like EMDR or other such techniques. All of these things, being in nature, connecting with a nature source that you really love, like a place that you're just like, you can take in that deep breath and really get in your heart space. You can just go and practice bird watching or listening. I combine those words, or listening to the birds, listening to the creatures, listening to the squirrels and their scurrying, right? These kinds of things. For some of you, it's the smile of a child, right? It's your child or grandchild that just puts that immediate smile on your face, and you can't help but be in your heart-centered energies. It might be a memory, your favorite vacation, a photograph that you put in a frame and you put it up because you were fully in your heart in that space. So whatever you need to do personally to access that heart space, to actually do the transformation here, to drop the burdens, and also to love yourself through whatever kind of difficult communication you might be trying to have with someone else and in your relationships, to love yourself through it and to allow yourself to make mistakes. If you're making mistakes with someone who loves you, they're going to forgive you. They're going to be there, right? And I think some of us have some wounding around that, maybe not feeling like they won't want to be with me if I tell the truth. Or they've had a bad day and I don't want to upset them. And so it is that line that we walk to find how we can be in our hearts and communicate from that place, okay? Now, all these other cards kind of fell out. It's really interesting. They all kind of came out in a pile together. And so remember I said with the Six of Pentacles, it looks like things are going to balance out for us. And they are. Why? Because we're focused on our soul spark. We're embracing this solstice. We're embracing the energy of today. We're going to be present with today. We're going to be present with ourselves. We're going to open our arms and open our heart to it. We're going to let the sun come in. All right. We're going to also know that as we're doing that, we're embodying wisdom. Here's the high priestess coming in again saying, this is why, this is a confirmation that this is going to balance out, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. And also we got the Six of Wands. This is a victory card. This is a victory card, okay? This is a card of, look at these, the arms in these two cards, opening up a very different energy here than these closed off energies. So here's where we're closed and burdened in our relationships because we're not communicating. We're not being transparent. We're not finding healthy ways to communicate. I'm getting it in my throat. I feel it. Even clearing the throat or doing that humming or singing or something can help. Look, she's on a stage. Maybe she just performed a song, right? Some of you are singers. Some of you enjoy music. Bringing yourself into the spotlight, overcoming the fear of being vulnerable or being cast out. Now, if you are in relationships where you do attempt to communicate and it falls on deaf ears, you're being ignored, you're being dismissed, your emotions are not being acknowledged, then you have some other work to do, right? You're going to have some other work to do there. So let's see if we can get a little more support here from the divine masculine and divine feminine, right? So we have Carolyn here. Hello, Carolyn. Yes, Karen Wells, 100, right? We felt this, and it's hard work. I mean, it really is hard work. It's It's the real great work, the inner work that we do. So let's see what the masculine energies would like to remind us of. Masculine is the more active energies. Oh, I like this. I'm going to pull the feminine card too, because I want to get the vibe on how they're working together here, okay? I want to get the vibe on how they're working together. Oh, nice. So we've got from the masculine, the journey to the divine masculine, we've got teamwork. Here we go for teamwork, okay? Teamwork makes the dream work. We want to position ourselves, and I know not everybody has this in their life, right? But we want to always work to position ourselves in relationships with others where we feel like that other person or those other people are part of our team, right? They're on our side. They're part of our team, right? And this is very important. This is a very important energy. If you're not having that in your relationships, you have to determine for yourself whether or not there's something that you can say to bring light to that issue and to bring improvement, or if you've already been down that road, is it time for you to go find a different team, right? And that's a very personal decision for each of you, right? And I also got cloud 9 from the divine feminine, okay? From the divine feminine. And this is the energy of the feminine actually feeling safe enough to relax into love, into the energy. This is where she, and I'm going to say she because the feminine energies, feels safe with her team here. If this is not the kinds of relationships that are going on around you, then let's be honest, you do have some work to do, right? You have to determine if you can communicate through this or if not. If you don't feel safe enough to relax and daydream and have fun, this kind of cloud 9's kind of reminded me of like, it's like that last bit of fresh air from Gemini coming through, that final Gemini message of like, it's about feeling good with the people you love, you know? And yes, you're going to go through hard times, but do you have the foundation there? Are you safe? Are you respected? Okay. Is there an opportunity? Is the person receptive to your words? Would they maybe be perfect? Probably not. They're probably not going to have the perfect response all the time. Sometimes they're working on it too, right? But are you feeling that the core in the foundation, this person or these people are on your side? Are you a part of the team, or do you feel like the lone wolf who's being burdened with all these other energies? Honestly, with this solstice, I think it's definitely going to come to that point where you're going to be dropping those energies. If you haven't already, or you're in the process of dropping those energies, that's what the previous breakout reading was about. It was dropping those energies, right? And so think about that. Reflect on that. Yeah, Marquette, so with these vertical lives, I actually gave YouTube this feedback. I'm not going to put the camera lower because you're some dirty-minded fool, by the way. But these vertical lives do leave a lot at the top. And I gave YouTube the feedback that maybe it'd be cool if you could put a title up here or do something with it. But that's why I hold the cards up. But if you're just being some perv on the internet, go somewhere else. That's not creator energy. So thank you, Jason, because you never know like people's weird intentions. And honestly, I'm just wearing a very tame shirt. You're not going to see anything that great anyway. That's reserved for my partner. All right. Speaking of relationships. All right, let's get into our last breakout reading. What are you ready to energize or initiate? Okay, so we've looked into the burdens and the pain that we're looking to drop. We're like, let's get rid of that stuff. Okay, we're dropping the burdens. There's old patterns, things that we just can't keep carrying, right? And we're not going to do it anymore. We've talked about relationship dynamics. We've talked about everything from like karma to communication. Now, what are you ready to energize and initiate? Because this solstice is all about you figuring out what you want to claim. What do you want to claim? What do you really want, right? And I don't think at the end of the day, it may be for some of you, but at the end of the day, it's not those empty things like fame and riches. What does your soul really want? What does your soul really want? We're not talking to the ego here. We're talking to the soul. So that's the intention and the perspective with which I'm pulling these cards and doing this reading. When it comes to what you're ready to energize and initiate, we are talking directly to the soul, not the ego here. The ego has its place. The ego has helped us, okay? The ego is there for a reason, but we're going to let the soul take over and hear this message now, okay? All right. New subscribers, welcome. I hope you enjoy joining the creators community. Make yourself at home. Check out all the wonderful content here. For those of you returning, I thank you for being here. Be sure you go back and listen to the beginning of this live because I do have a contest going on for a free reading. So some of you might be interested in participating in that. All right here. So we are definitely seeing here a little bit about what's in our way to energize. So our soul is saying, hey, there's a little clearing that needs to happen here, but what we're energizing and initiating are the things that are closest to our hearts. And so that's the direction we are moving. I see for some of you, you're ready to energize more powerful soul connections. I see that coming through. I see some of you want to be working in jobs or careers where you are doing what you love, not where you are grinding, not where you are not valued properly, where you're not paid correctly, and where you're not respected. Okay, so that's what we're going through. You're energizing and initiating yourself into a new way of life. That's going to include some challenging steps and some taking of some risk here. So we've got the 9 of Wands. So we're starting off and our souls are saying, okay, you may be, hello individual out there, hello creator being, you may be a little bit cautious. You may be a little bit cautious about the power of what you're capable of what your soul, your heart and soul are capable of doing, your greatness, your talents, your gifts, talents, and abilities. You may have been in a place where you haven't trusted that up to date, okay? You haven't trusted it so far. You're coming into a place though, look at this though. Let's look at this. We have this beautiful girl standing here. She can just step right over this broken fence, right? So here we are being cautious, but she can easily, there's no sharp points where she's standing. She can step right over. And that's what the universe is calling us to do. We are to step over any obstacles in our way. So if you get overwhelmed easily, just pick one obstacle in your way and work on overcoming that. Also, maybe she could take this wand and just walk off the card and around the side. She doesn't even have to use as much energy to step over this old broken down fence of old patterns and things that we're leaving behind. Maybe she can go around. Maybe she can go around and then shine her light a little differently. What you're ready to energize and initiate is also, I'm getting the sense with this 6 of Swords here that it's high time for this, okay? It's high time for you to come into these energies. You can take a micrometer step, a millimeter step. You can take a great leap, but you are moving yourself. You're being drawn into more balance, more heart-centered energy, more alignment in your career or in your workplace, in your job, more alignment in your relationships, in the energies of being respected and treated properly and the communication channels are open. The swords are about communication as well. You want more peace in your soul in these areas here. And that's what the Six of Swords are saying. So as you are initiated into this greater version of yourself, where you're going to be taking action from your heart, doing what you love, leading with love. Some of you have very important leadership skills that need to come out to the surface. And you're going to have to get creative with how to do that. You're asking for the path to show you where the peace lies, right? And you're going to begin to move that direction. You're going to be pulled and called in that direction. So if you feel like the waters are really choppy, if you feel like something is off, if there has not been a good experience in an environment or in a relationship, you're moving away from that. You're prioritizing your peace with this Six of Swords here. And any time that you feel like your obstacles are a little hard to overcome, or you feel like something else has been thrown in your path, remember that you have prioritized this peace, your own peace, the peace of your greater being. And that's what's being valued, and that's what's being held sacred here. Why? Because you are meant to take action doing what you love. You are meant, for some of you, it's a gesture of love in your relationships. Okay, we've got a beautiful white horse in the background. The horse is like, yes, go. If you like horses, that's a beautiful totem for you to embody here. Yes, go. Make a gesture of love. Do something more romantic than you've thought about doing before. Some of you are initiating yourselves into greater levels of relationship. Some of you you've become very clear. You've gone through some hard stuff. It's had you cautious. It's had you holding back in relationships. You've prioritized your peace first. That's very important. Prioritize your peace first, so that when you move forward in love, it will be a balanced, loving, heart-centered, beautiful give and receive experience, okay? And that's what we want to do. Hello, Brooke. How are you today? And so that's what you're being initiated into, higher levels of relationships. Now, I'm also getting a vibe of friendships, also friendships being reconstructed. Some of you may be coming back around with somebody that you knew when you were younger and you took separate paths. And now you're like, whoa, hey, there you are. And I've been through all this and you've been through all that. And now we've both kind of taken our own unique journey, but wow, we can reconnect here. There's a reconnection implied. And that's how some of you are going to be energizing and initiating yourselves. For others of you, it's really to fall in love with what you do, fall in love with your purpose, your mission. So let's take other people out of it for a minute. What's your mission? What's your purpose? What do you love to do? I love to do intuitive coaching, healing work, read tarot. I love esoteric wisdom. I love the mysteries of the world. I studied biology. I love the human body. I love history. I love all these things. What do you love to do? How can you put them together into a package? How can you put them together into a lifestyle that will support you? All right. How can you date yourself? Who has taken themselves on a date? Anybody ever gone to a movie by themselves, taken themselves out to dinner, taken themselves for a coffee date, bought themselves flowers? Being able to make these gestures to yourself are very powerful. They speak very greatly. It doesn't mean you're a loser and a loner. It means that you value the treatment of yourself. And so you can start with treating yourself real nice. Treat yourself to something that you enjoy, right? Yeah. Because you're defining it for yourself, you're embodying your greater being into that, and then guess what happens? You don't attract in the same kinds of work situations and relationships. It begins to up level. This is how you up level. It takes time. It takes awareness. It takes embodiment. It takes healing, right? I'm not going to make it sound super easy. This is a journey. But you get to this point, You prioritize some self-care, right? We're entering into Cancerian season here. So as you're getting ready to energize and initiate new things, are you prioritizing your own self-care? That's important. Let's get a couple clarifiers for this Knight of Cups, right? But yeah, some of you, you're either gonna make a romantic gesture or you're gonna receive one, right? In these new energies, which is nice. It's definitely an initiation. When you go through hard times in relationships or toxic relationships, you come out of that, you prioritize your peace, you get in alignment with that, you nurture yourself, and then it can be really interesting to see what you attract. Yes. And what I'm getting here in these initiations, so we got a card that kind of clarifies that it's challenging, the Five of Wands. But remember in that previous reading I did where we got teamwork? What if you're coming together with others to build? Some of you may be in this situation and your heart is calling you to collaborate or work with others. This isn't my normal card of collaboration, but I get a collaborative energy. It doesn't mean it's going to come together super duper easy. Each person is going to have to do their part to put these wands together and create a structure or create a shape, right? It's kind of like those rooms, those challenge rooms that you go into and you guys have to figure out all the puzzles, escape rooms or whatever. It kind of feels like that kind of energy, right? So this is an acknowledgement that it's sometimes a challenge. And sometimes you have to revisit some of the lessons maybe that you've learned in the past. However, we've got the Fool coming up here. And the Fool energy takes you back to 0 point. This is the 0 card in the Major Arcana. It is an open-hearted energy. And it's the energy that is going to move forward even if it doesn't know if it's going to be successful, right? It's going to move forward with courage anyway, right? And maybe it's going to move forward with a little bit of not knowing, like I don't know, or maybe I'm a little bit foolish to take this leap, but my heart is calling me so strongly. This is the kind of energy that each of us are incarnated with, okay? There's a part of us, our greater being, we're multidimensional. There's a part of us that knew in our soul, like, okay, I'm going to go to this earth and I'm going to go to this cosmic playground and there's all these dense energies down here and I'm going to dive in. I'm going to dive in because why? Because I have a greater love for myself. I'm connected to the natural prime creator of the universe. I'm connected to the process of evolution. And so I'm going to come in. I don't know how this is all going to shake out. I see there might be some bumps in the road. There's going to be good times. There's going to be bad times, but I'm going to do it anyway. And some of you are at that point in your life where you are no longer afraid to go through this initiation. You have more tools in your toolkit than you did before. And so you're more equipped for it. All right. This Fool actually seems a little less foolish to me. Now, what you might have to work with, however, as you energize and initiate yourself is that other people are not going to understand, okay? When I left the corporate world, I had planned it. I had planned it for a while, but I was making my escape. A lot of people in my life that, not my inner circle, but, you know, people, family members, different things, like they might have been kind of in my inner circle, but just by being family member, didn't understand. How could you? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? When you decide to shift gears and change gears, what are you going to do? How are you going to do that? How are you going to make money? What are you going to, there's like a panic response, right? I think a lot of you have been dealing with that, right? A lot of you have been dealing with that. And so you may feel that energy from other people. You may feel like they think I'm crazy. They think I'm a fool. Oh, well, let them think what they want. They're not in that energy, okay? They're in this energy of caution, right? And so some of you might have to let that go. Let the opinions of others go. If they truly love you, they're going to love you anyway through it, right? They may not understand. Some people are just not at their part in their evolutionary journey, and that's okay. I have family members that are like that. They're just not there. They were raised in a different time. It can be generational, right? We have an understanding of why these things can be. but we can't let it stop us from reaching toward our goals and dreams. So there's this initiation opportunity here before you. Yes, AM, let them panic. It's not yours. It's no longer yours, right? Let them. I love that. That's a good vibe there. Let them just, and we're letting go, right? That's what this solstice offers. But we have this great opportunity here at the solstice to take the kind of leap, to take the kind of power move, to return to 0 point on a new cycle. Because remember, we've up leveled. Now we're at a different point and we're taking the leap again. We have this unique opportunity that is as powerful as when we incarnated here, which, believe me, no matter your birth experience, no matter your family upbringing, you are meant to be here. You have a sacred connection with the mother planet here, with the father, son, with the cosmos to be here at this time. And at the end of the day, you've said, okay, I'm prioritizing my peace though, because I'm not getting into all that drama anymore. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to follow the direction of my heart. My heart will lead me. This is self-love, self-nurturing, and the ability to draw in those relationships in your life. Okay? Jasmine says, I'm about ready to put in my 2 weeks at my job, but I have to stop caring about those other people because honestly, that place, yes, Jasmine, you may feel alone. You may feel like misunderstood, like those people don't get why you're doing what you're doing, but you're prioritizing your peace. And it's a risk. And, you know, you're jumping off this and you don't know where you're going to land, but no longer are you going to tolerate those energies of negativity and toxicity, because honestly, it actually affects you, doesn't it? It affects your sleep. It affects your health. It affects your emotional state, right? And you deserve more. So Jasmine, I'm just right now giving you big, big good vibes that like you're showing the universe you want something better and you're claiming it. And whatever else anybody thinks, we're going to let them, like AM said, just let them. Just let them. Let's get some oracle cards here before we close out this reading. We're going to go to the Sacred Traveler here, okay? I'm going to go to the Sacred Traveler and get, I think I just want one from here. I'm going to do a couple different oracle decks. Yes, yes, yes. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. If you did not catch the very beginning, I did announce a contest for my 50th birthday coming up. And to enter, you just go on my channel with your YouTube handle there, and you're gonna write a reflective comment, okay? Not just a short hi or emojis, but a reflective comment on my long form, my shorts, or my post, my community post between now and July 3rd. And then that gets you one entry, one comment per video, okay? No spamming and any of that. So we got rainbow blessings. Blessings are showering your life. So let's let it in. Let's let it in. Let's let those blessings come in. And sometimes, like Jasmine said, we have to move ourselves out of the negative environment so that we can become visible to the blessings and let the new blessings come in, okay? Letting the new blessings come in. Look how we might be coming out of kind of a darker tunnel, and we are going to move toward the light and we can walk a new path. But where are we? Are we on the edge? Do we have to jump down? Like, this kind of reminds me of like those of you that are gamers. It kind of reminds me of like Elden Ring, where they're always like jumping onto different cliffs and stuff like that. Like, are you at the top or can you just walk right on the path? I don't know. It looks like we're looking out a window. We might have to jump out the window, you know. Don't go jump out a window, please. Be careful. Do not hurt yourselves. All right. But it kind of feels like that energy energetically. Like, am I jumping off the edge here? Yes, you might actually feel that way. Let's get a card from the Elemental Oracle here as well. I've got so many cool Oracle decks as well as tarot. Oh, we got number 33 and ice, and it says purity. Okay, so normally, you know, you get ice and you're thinking of like a frozen feeling, or some of you may have feel like you've been in a frozen place with making a decision about something. But this reading is all about what you're ready to initiate and energize. You're ready to come out from this slumber and charge forward. And I think when it comes to purity, it's about getting clear, right? It's about letting everybody else's stuff be everybody else's stuff, right? It's about really honoring ourselves and unsticking ourselves. So we're going to let this ice thaw and we're going to move into the open air. We're going to move into the open air. It might still be cold. We may not have the exact answer we need in the initial moment when we jump into these new energies or thaw ourselves out, but we're making the move. And that's what's important here with this solstice, is that we begin to feel the momentum. We're coming into those Cancerian energies. It's about flow and momentum, okay? It doesn't have to be forced. Doesn't have to be forced either. So let's also look at here this sacred, no, this is not sacred. Well, this is sacred, but different kind of sacred message. This is Super Attractor. There we go. Super Attractor Oracle. I had to look back at the box because it like flew out of my mind. It's the Sacred Super Attractor Oracle. So let's just get a few messages here. Yeah, guys, if you're not going to participate in a creative manner, this is Creators on the Crest, then this is not the channel for you. This is about evolution. It's about creativity. It's about coming into our powerful energies as a human to help evolve in a positive manner here. And so if you have different views, then go to a different channel or make your own content, for crying out loud. You know, if you have all these things to say, go make your own content. Let your people find you. This channel is for creators, people who are in creative mode, who want to make and see this world be better, and they take accountability for themselves and they take those actions. So, you know, here we're on our healing journey. We're going to be thoughtful, respectful, and supportive, but we're also going to keep this space safe. Okay, so we don't join this live to troll and harass and do all of that. We kick those people out. So, because I want it to be a safe space for those creators who are trying to grow and hear the messages. And I've been shuffling my little heart out. We got manifesting is the creative process of aligning with the energy of the universe to co-create. There goes Blaze. To co-create. Hey. Oh boy, here he goes. Hey. I'm on a live. Come here. You want to say hi? Want to say hi? He wants to be a part of the message, I think. Come here, boo-boo. This is Blazer the Morkie, everybody, and he wants to be here for the final message. One more time. Manifesting is the creative process of aligning with the energy of the universe to co-create an experience that elevates my spirit, yes, and the spirit of the world. Yes, we're doing things together, co-creating with ourselves, with our greater beings, with the natural prime creator of the universe, right? With creator source, with others who are on our team. That's what we want to manifest from. Look at this baby. Isn't he sweet? Oh, look at that little face. Blaze, yes, he was, I think, trying to add a little juice to the message here. You like that message? Yeah. Aw, do you guys have familiars? Let me know. You got your pups and your kitty cats out there? Aw, they're such babies, and they're such intuitives, aren't they? He's 5 years old, but he still has so much energy. It takes like a 3-mile walk or jog to kind of make him tired, but then he still wants to play when he gets home. Every morning he's ready with his toy. But right now he's bored because we're doing the live and he's not getting, now he's getting some love and attention, so he doesn't mind that. But yes, he's a good boy. He's a good boy. All right, guys, we'll do some closing musings here. Let me get my final timestamp. I can see some of you are still here. So It's been such a pleasure to have you here. Usually I go about 2 hours, give or take, some on Frequency Friday. I'll be here next Friday and the Friday after that. I will put this out with timestamps added. So if you want to come back to this, if you missed like the beginning and you want to listen to different parts with ease and convenience, you can do that. So I'll put that back up for everybody. But I want to thank you for being here. I hope you join us again next week. And in the meantime, I always say, stay tuned, stay true, and keep creating. And I will see you guys, all right? Many blessings to you all. Thank you so much. I'm wishing you all the very best.